Hi guys, and welcome to my 47th video. Thank you so much for joining me if you are a return subscriber, or hello if you are new. My name's Adrina. I'm an Australian teacher and mum, currently on a break at the moment, trying to figure out this whole teacherpreneur online space, selling my teaching resources and clip art on Teachers Pay Teachers and online. So today's video is actually a little bit different. It's not about clip art, but we are going to be talking about the Teachers Pay Teachers conference. So, as you may or may not know, we are coming up to the Teachers Pay Teachers 2022 conference, TPT Forward 2022. I have a conference every year, and basically in this video we're just going to be chatting about am I going, just like some things that I found from last year's conference and just general TPT chit chat. So if that is up your alley, then keep on watching. Before I jump into it though, I just want to quickly say I'm in mum mode at the moment too, because check this out, little man is like fast asleep on me. So today is usually a day that he would go to daycare, but because he's had like a little bit of a snotty nose and like a bit of a cough, I decided not to send him today. So it's kind of a PJ kind of day for him today. With that being said, I'm just trying to maximize my time, and while he's asleep on me, because he woke up just before when I put him down, like I explained in my last video, we're having issues with him kind of sleeping, and he doesn't want to be sleeping without me because he's teething and stuff at the moment. So I'm just gonna do what I can and film this video while he's sleeping on me. So that's that. So if you see him like having a good old snooze, that's that. You gotta do what you gotta do as a mama sometimes. Okay, so let's talk about the conference. So it starts in July, and this year for the TPT conference, it's going to be held in person in Chicago. So obviously I'm not going to be going to the Chicago one because A, I'm in Australia, and B, I have a little one. So this year is definitely out. I'm not going to be doing the in-person event. Maybe down the track, like I would love to go to one of these in person down the track in the future, but this year obviously not. So I will be going, but I will just be doing the virtual option, and I know that the virtual option is $79, whereas the in-person one is a little bit more, and you do get slightly different things, obviously, packages, because it's in person versus virtual, but I'm just grateful and glad that they are offering a virtual option, because, you know, someone like me in Australia who doesn't have easy access to go somewhere like Chicago, like at least I can attend online and have that for like the month to be able to attend the sessions that I want, and it's also flexible by having a little baby. Okay, so let's talk about the 2021 conference. So just kind of a little bit about my experience from last year, just in case it may help someone make a decision as to whether they want to go to this one this year or not, or any future ones if you're watching this in the future. But basically, last year's conference, originally I wasn't going to go. I had kind of decided, I don't know if it's worth the time for me to go, because of, you know, I was in the depths of motherhood at that time, being with a pretty young baby at that time, breastfeeding, and just kind of like working, doing relief teaching during that time. And so it was just like kind of a lot, but I ended up deciding literally like on the very last day of when it was going to be open to actually purchase a ticket. I was like, actually no, let me get the money together and I will go. And so I ended up going, and I ended up purchasing the ticket. What I will say is what I liked the most about the TPT conference, what was most valuable to me. So there was heaps of presenters, lots of sessions that were really informative, but what I truly like the most about the conference is the keynote speakers. Those videos or those sessions are probably the most inspiring ones to me, because it talks like, basically, if you don't know what a keynote speaker is, it's like somebody that is a TPT seller who has been on the journey for a while now or whatever, and they have had quite a lot of success through TPT, and they share their journey, their adversities, their advice to newer sellers coming on this path. What I really liked about keynotes were like how like real they were with their stories, how some of them would talk about like how they were in childhood, how they kind of got to where they decided to open a TPT store, and basically the journey along the way into what they have accomplished doing this. And when I had watched some of those keynotes, I was like, wow, like this is possible. Like it made me feel like, oh my goodness, some people are really making their way through this platform. Like it is not just nothing, like people will be doing this full time. That kind of made me like rethink the platform, to think, oh my goodness, like this truly is a long game. It's not something that you do for 6 months. If you truly want to get into the deep part of like success of TPT, it is something that is like a long haul. And I know that's probably been said over YouTube, over like all the other like, I don't know, TPT gurus. I don't class myself as a guru. I'm just explaining my experiences here online, and because I'm just like sharing my beginning journeys, I just think a lot of people have said though that like TPT is a long haul, and that was what really concreted in my mind, like wow, from these keynote speakers, this has potential. And not only that, what I really, sorry guys, I'm getting close up and personal because little man is he's still breastfed, so it's real life, you guys. This is just life. So anywho's, so basically what I did really like was I realized that when I went to that conference last year, I was like, wow, TPT is much more than me just sitting here in my office creating products. It's like you're part of a community, you're part of this movement of teachers, you know, empowering other teachers worldwide to be able to have a collective journey to not only earn semi-passive income for your efforts, but also to be a part of like helping others out there. So obviously when you're a seller, the first thing I guess when you initially sign up to be a seller, you're like, one of the main motives is like, okay, I want to like earn more income, I want to be able to pay off debt, or you want to do this, or you want to do whatever you want to do with that money. But there's usually a factor as to why sellers go and sign up to become a seller. And so usually that is to have more income in some way, shape or form. And so what I liked about the conference last year, it made me just realize like there's a lot of teachers that are doing this, and there's a lot of people that are, you know, finding success from this pathway. And I just think that's amazing. I think that obviously I'm just like a newer teacher coming into this, but from what I can see, like the potential from when I went to the conference last year, it just made you feel part of community, it made you feel like you're doing something to be impactful to the world, and that's what I loved. Oh, baby. And so that is just what I enjoyed about the conference last year. And obviously I enjoyed some of the sessions. There were some that were really insightful and made me think differently about how they go and operate their own TPT businesses, and just kind of how having systems can be really helpful in the business, and how like it should be like an ecosystem of how you create your store and stuff like that. Like there was a few really good sessions that I enjoyed, and I tried to take notes. And what I will say is with the note-taking department, I printed off a lot, but I didn't use all of it. So if I was to say to anyone that is going to the conference, it's like brand new, probably don't print off every single thing. Just either print off the things that actually have solid information on their notes. Otherwise, I mean, look, I'm not telling you what to do. I note take differently, so you might want to be one of those people that print off everything. For me, like I did print off a lot, and I thought I was going to have the time to note take, but because of little one, I couldn't really write a lot. So when I did have the moments of time where I would watch some sessions, and I did not have little one, my fiance had him, then I would note take. But what I would usually do would be like, I'd just have one piece of paper and I would write the person's name, and I'd write just all key points that I found really helpful or insightful just around like in like a brainstorm. I'll show you really quickly just as an example. So for example, I just put the person's name in the middle there, and then I would just write around kind of like some key points as to kind of what I liked about their session, and like some like notes. Like for Cindy Martin's one, she had using current events and marketing trends to grow your business with Cindy. That was one of her one of her titles for her session. And I wrote a few different things just to kind of help me remember what the session was about. Oh my goodness. And so like one of the things I wrote here was like profit. Current teachers will buy things that are current and solve a problem quickly. So she was kind of explaining through that how she utilizes Google Trends to kind of help aid. Are you ready, baby? You want to sit up? Look! We got a special guest! Hello, you say hello. So he's awake now. We have a little special guest, awake and kicking. So yeah, like with that one, she was just basically explaining how Google Trends help her in her business and how she utilizes the trends to like aid into her product creation and stuff like that. And so yeah, just things like that. I wrote like some notes as much as I could, and I just put them all like in a folder. And like I've got Trina Deborah's one, to podcast or not to podcast. Now, some sessions you'll find that you will want to do because you're really interested, and some you just find that you want to watch just because you're like, oh, could that serve me? Like that one in particular, the to podcast or not to podcast, I wasn't necessarily looking at podcasting at the time, but I know my sister was really interested in podcasting, and for myself, I was like, oh, I wonder kind of what information she'll share, like to podcasts. I love podcasts, I love listening to podcasts, but I didn't have any like wants to make a podcast, but I just thought, you know what, like her session was like to podcast or not to podcast, so I was like, okay, so that I thought that might help me in the future whether I wanted to do that or not. But like I said, like as a beginner, some of those topics are things that you probably don't need necessarily at the beginning. If you're brand new, I remember Misty Miller's ones were really quite beginner friendly. They're the ones, if you're a brand new seller, Misty Miller like kind of, I feel like, specializes in brand new sellers. And so I really remember kind of watching some of her sessions and being like, oh, this is great for a brand new seller. And I wasn't brand new. It's not like I had started at the time when I watched that session. There were some things that were helpful, but I remember when I was watching some of those, I was like, oh, some of the stuff I already know. And you'll find that some of the sessions that you choose, some will kind of be ones that you find a lot of value in, and some won't be as valuable for you depending on whereabouts you are in your TPT business. And I guess this is why sometimes some people say it's not worth going, because if you are brand new, like it can be really quite overwhelming with the amount of things, and especially if they're talking about things that you don't know, like SEO and systems for your business. And it's like, if you've literally just started yesterday, there will be some things that help, but there'll be a lot that will be overwhelming too, that you won't be understanding unless you've been like doing TPT for a good year or something like that. So that's basically that. So that's just some of my thoughts from the TPT conference from last year, and we're going to show you now. My little man is going to show you the shirt that we got last year, because each year they have like a different shirt. This was the shirt from last year. It's just like a kind of like a green one. A green one. It's a green one. Sorry, it's a green one, and I think they have like different shirts every year, so it'll be interesting to see what shirt we get this year. I will say though very quickly, when I signed up on the very last day that I could last year, I wouldn't recommend doing that, because it took, I mean, being in Australia, it took me probably a month for me to even receive that particular like swag or TPT shirt and bottle. I don't even know where the bottle went. I need to find that somewhere in my house. But that was the shirt, and I probably am going to sign up now, so then there's a chance that I am going to get the shirt hopefully while the TPT conference is happening instead of like a month later. So that's just a few of my thoughts on the TPT conference. Let me know down below if you'll be going. I am going to be going this year. I'm one for soaking up knowledge and learning, and I think for $79 and hearing other people's experiences and getting the download of like how TPT is going and just like the platform, I'm invested in TPT, I'm invested in their vision, I'm invested in myself, I'm invested in trying to do this and build this up. So that's why I'm going, because I believe in this platform, and yeah, I just want to feel that sense of community and see kind of what other people, other sellers out there have to say this year. So let me know if you are going to be going this year. I guess I'm in sort of a unique position because at the moment I have both a resource store and a clip art store, and I feel like for some people that are just primarily clip art, some of the stuff may not be necessarily as beneficial, but you can always take bits and bobs from that and make your own truths of the matter. So with that being said, we're gonna peace out and we're gonna say adios. Can you wave? Adios. And because we're having a PJJ, check out his pajamas. You say adios, adios, adios. Thanks for watching, you guys. Show them your cool pajamas. Show them your cool pajamas. Look at these cute doggies. If you're from Australia, big W, $10, you guys. Proper cute. Say bye-bye. Adios.